Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour, Prime Minister Modi to address Ghana Parliament on day 2 of his visit. Prime Minister will also interact with the Indian community in Ghana. India and Ghana elevate bilateral ties to comprehensive partnership, decide to further strengthen cooperation in counter-terrorism efforts, set a target to double the bilateral trade in 5 years. Amid opposition by some members of the GOP, Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill ensures its passage as the House convenes to debate on the bill. And India eyes huge first innings total when they resume innings at 310 for 5 on day 2 against England in the Edgbaston Test. India and Ghana agreed to elevate their relationship to a comprehensive partnership after Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with President of Ghana, Dr. John Dramani Mahama. The two leaders discussed global issues of mutual interest, including UN reforms, 4 MOUs in the fields of culture, standards, Ayurveda and traditional medicine, and joint commission mechanism for engagement between foreign ministries were exchanged. Tapas Bhattacharya gets us this detailed report from Accra, the capital city of Ghana.
India and Ghana on Wednesday elevated their ties to the level of a comprehensive partnership after Prime Minister Narendra Modi held wide-ranging talks with President John Dramani Mahama.
आज राष्ट्रपति जी और मैंने हमारी द्विपक्षीय साझेदारी को कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पार्टनरशिप का रूप देने का निर्णय लिया है। घाना के राष्ट्र निर्माण की इस यात्रा में भारत केवल एक सहयोगी नहीं बल्कि एक सहयात्री है।
Both sides held discussions on a wide range of issues from boosting bilateral trade and digital payment systems to maritime security and cybersecurity. In defense and security, the two nations pledged deeper collaboration guided by the principle of security through solidarity.
हमारा द्विपक्षीय व्यापार $3 बिलियन पार कर चुका है। भारतीय कंपनियों ने लगभग 900 प्रोजेक्ट्स में लगभग $2 बिलियन का निवेश किया है। आज हमने आपसी व्यापार को अगले 5 वर्षों में दोगुना करने का लक्ष्य निर्धारित किया है।
4 key agreements were signed, paving the way for cooperation in diverse areas, including culture and traditional medicine.
The two sides have engaged in significant discussions to deepen cooperation across various sectors of our economy, including agriculture, energy, manufacturing, infrastructural development, human resources, and health, amongst others. On the strength of the successful engagements, we have had a number of memoranda of understanding have been signed between Ghana and India.
On global issues, both leaders agreed that terrorism is the enemy of humanity and resolved to strengthen mutual cooperation to combat the menace.
हम एक मत है कि आतंकवाद मानवता का दुश्मन है। आतंकवाद के खिलाफ हमारी लड़ाई में सहयोग के लिए हम गाना का आभार प्रकट करते हैं। इस संदर्भ में हमने काउंटर टेररिज्म में आपसी सहयोग को और मजबूत करने का निर्णय किया है। यूएन रिफॉर्म्स को लेकर हमारा दृष्टिकोण एक जैसा है। पश्चिम एशिया और यूरोप में चल रहे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को लेकर हम दोनों ने गहरी चिंता व्यक्त की है। हमारा मानना है कि यह युद्ध का युग नहीं है। डायलॉग और डिप्लोमेसी से ही समस्या का समाधान होना चाहिए।
Earlier upon his arrival, in a rare gesture, President John Mahama personally received him at the airport, a testament to the deep-rooted friendship between the two nations. Making the historic visit even more special, Prime Minister Modi was given a rousing welcome by the Indian community in Ghana.
With this landmark visit, India and Ghana have opened a new chapter of trust, technology and teamwork, setting the tone for a stronger global South. With camera person Rakesh and Murmukar Sharma, this is Tapush Bhattacharya signing off from Accra, Ghana.
Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was conferred with the National Honour of Ghana, official of the Order of the Star of Ghana, by President of Ghana in recognition of his distinguished statesmanship and influential global leadership. Accepting the award on behalf of 1.4 billion Indians, Prime Minister dedicated the honour to the aspiration of the youth of India, its cultural traditions and diversity, and to the historical ties between Ghana and India. Prime Minister thanked the people and government of Ghana for this special gesture.
राष्ट्रपति जी द्वारा गाना के राष्ट्रीय अवार्ड द ऑफिसर ऑफ द ऑर्डर ऑफ द स्टार ऑफ गाना से सम्मानित किया जाना मेरे लिए अत्यंत गर्व और सम्मान की बात है। मैं राष्ट्रपति महामा जी, गाना सरकार और गाना के लोगों का हृदय से आभार प्रकट करता हूं। मैं इस सम्मान को 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की ओर से विनम्रता के साथ स्वीकार करता हूं। यह सम्मान मैं हमारे युवाओं की आकांक्षाओं को, उनके उज्जवल भविष्य को, हमारी समृद्ध सांस्कृतिक विविधता और परंपराओं को और भारत गाना के ऐतिहासिक संबंधों को समर्पित करता हूं।
On day one, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also met with Ghana's Vice President Jane Nana Opoku Agmong during his visit. Now, the two leaders greeted each other warmly and held productive talks. Later, Secretary Economic Relations in the Ministry of External Affairs, Damu Ravi, held a press briefing where he provided a detailed account of the Prime Minister's visit. He said that both leaders acknowledged the historic significance of the occasion as it marks the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Ghana in over 30 years.
Both the leaders acknowledged that this is a historic visit for the fact that this visit is taking place at the Prime Minister level from India after 30 years. President Mahama clearly acknowledged that it is a landmark visit that is very timely and very opportunistic at a time when Ghana is also looking for partnership with India to deepen economic engagement after its own economic rebound, recovery that it is facing, having gone through the IMF conditionalities and restructuring.
Today, on day 2 of his Ghana visit, Prime Minister will interact with the Indian community and will later visit Nkrumah's memorial along with President Mahama. In the heart of Accra stands the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. It is a tribute to Ghana's founding father and its first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Clad in Italian marble and crowned with a black star of unity, the monument stands as a powerful symbol of Ghana's journey to freedom and its enduring legacy. Later, Prime Minister Modi will visit the Black Star Square again with President Mahama. He will also address Ghana Parliament, after which he will leave for Port of Spain. In the heart of Accra stands the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, and it is a tribute to Ghana's founding father and its first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Clad in Italian marble and crowned with a black star of unity, the monument stands as a powerful symbol of Ghana's journey to freedom and its enduring legacy. DD India's Tapush Bhattacharya gets us more on this.
I'm in Accra City, the capital of Ghana, and here at this Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, I am here. It's a place where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming. This is the place dedicated to the first president of Ghana, and I have with me Dr. Collins, the executive director of this particular memorial park. Sir, Prime Minister Modi is coming here. It's an excitement for you also that, you know, the first president, the memorial park, and our own Prime Minister from India is coming here. How do you feel?
We feel very great. We feel very great. India and Ghana have shared very rich history together. We have all been partners in the struggle for colonial liberation or liberation from colonial rule. And so it's an amazing time for us to receive the Prime Minister. We are grateful. We are looking forward to seeing him, and we'll be here waiting for him.
Right. Also, sir, this is the place where the first president of Ghana was buried along with his wife, and this particular place looks like an upside, sword. Tell me the exact meaning of this, and how does that signify this current scenario in Ghana?
So this symbol actually shows two things. It depicts two things. One is the sword. Sword turned upside down. Now, sword turned upside down means peace. If the sword is raised up, you are at war, but when it's turned upside down, it is peace. And so he stands for peace. He's always been a peaceful man. And then the second one is a tree, a truncated tree. You know, if you look at it, you see that it kind of looks like a tree. At the bottom looks like, the roots. Right. And then at the top is kind of truncated. It means that Kwame Nkrumah started something really powerful. Along the way, he was cut off just like a tree. And so we use this to remember all the beautiful things that he started, but which were cut off because he couldn't, yeah.
Right. Also, sir, both India and Ghana shared a lot of values, a lot of history. Both were under British colonial rule. Now both want to grow together. How do you see India's role in helping Ghana become a developed country, especially when it comes to the West Africa and the African region?
India has been a very powerful ally to the country for many years. Since independence, it has contributed immensely in terms of technology, in terms of architecture, in terms of a lot of other things. We already, in fact, the very idea that we have our presidency, in other words, the official office of our president has been designed and built by India. That shows the extent of the connections that we have between the two people. So I think that would India help us? Absolutely. They've been fantastic so far, and we're just looking forward to having more of India's involvement in our political and economic life.
With Galbos Rockets, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for Diddy India.
Let's get to other updates now. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is in Washington, D.C. for the Quad Foreign Ministers meet, met FBI Director Kash Patel on the sidelines of the summit. The leaders appreciated the strong cooperation in countering organized crime, drug trafficking and terrorism. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also met U.S. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard on the sidelines of the meeting in Washington, D.C. Both the leaders exchanged their views on the global situation and the bilateral cooperation between the two countries. Addressing the press in Washington, Dr. S. Jaishankar said that the Quad ministers unanimously agreed on the objective of strengthening strategic stability in the Indo-Pacific region.
We all agreed strongly that our goal in the Quad was to strengthen strategic stability in the Indo-Pacific. And this meeting, the discussions were largely devoted to enhancing delivery on various initiatives and projects. As is the practice on such occasions, we had a very open, very freewheeling discussion on regional issues of the Indo-Pacific. A lot of that was a granular analysis of different situations, different issues of the Indo-Pacific itself. But again, in the light of recent developments, it is natural that we also spend some time discussing the Israel-Iran conflict, also what the US had done in Iran.
You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break. But after the break, Trump announces trade deal with Vietnam, placing a lower than promised 20% tariff on many Vietnamese exports. Europe's searing heatwave moves eastwards as Germany faces record temperatures. Wildfire in Greece and Turkey continues to rage on. In India, western coast and central India on an orange alert for heavy rains. Rumors of an impending disaster from a comic book prediction spark widespread panic in Japan, impacting the tourism sector.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India News Hour. The House convenes for legislative business as lawmakers prepare for debate on the big, beautiful bill in the United States. Vote on legislation could take place later in the day after hours of wrangling into the early morning. Donald Trump's signature tax and spending package, Big Beautiful Bill, was thrown into limbo. Republican leaders in Congress divided to rein in party rebels, threatening to derail the centerpiece of the president's domestic agenda. Trump has meanwhile expressed disappointment as the legislation he has marketed as one big beautiful bill had not yet cleared the procedural hurdle. Donald Trump has announced another trade deal, this time with Vietnam, under which United States will place a lower than promised 20% tariff on many Vietnamese exports. Vietnamese goods would face a 20% tariff and transshipments from third countries through Vietnam will face a 40% levy. Vietnam could import US products with a 0% tariff, though it was not clear whether the 20% tariff would come on top of the already in effect 10% tariff on goods from Vietnam or whether 20% would be the new level. More than a dozen countries are actively negotiating with the Trump administration to avoid a steep spike in tariffs on their exports. Trade deals reached earlier with Britain and China were limited in scope. Talks with Japan, the United States' sixth largest trading partner and closest ally in Asia, appeared to hit the roadblocks. Britain accepted a 10% US tariff on many goods, including autos, in exchange for a special access for aircraft engines and British beef. China and the United States also came to a truce in a tit-for-tat tariff battle. Beijing restored American access to some rare earth minerals. China and US left most of their disagreements to later negotiations. Nearly 3 months since President Trump's sweeping global tariffs, US restaurants are struggling with higher import costs of Brazilian coffee beans to Chinese tea, among other products, leading to increased consumer prices and reduced profit margins for the restaurants. Here's a report.
From Brazilian coffee to Chinese teas, beverages are a profit driver for US restaurants. But sweeping global tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump earlier this year are reducing those margins. US restaurants like Clyde's Restaurant Group are feeling the pinch from Trump's tariffs, forcing them to raise menu prices. Clyde's has recently raised prices at several of its restaurants across the US capital. Establishments are facing mounting pressures to raise the prices as Trump's tariffs are adding to rising cost for coffee, tea and food paper products.
We do custom blends, so we're able to source beans from a little bit from Brazil and Central America and some coming from Indonesia. Each have kind of their own different tariffs right now, so to speak, that impact those prices coming through. So over the course of the last probably 6 months, we've seen about a 20 to 30% increase.
Businesses have encountered snarled supply chains and higher costs since Trump imposed fresh tariffs after returning to the presidency in January. Now many are skeptical that higher tariffs could force many smaller independent restaurants and importers to shut shop.
Hope is we don't see tariffs to the extent we're seeing them any longer, because the reality is the longer they last, the less small independent distributors, importers, restaurants we are going to see, which means there are going to be a lot of people out of jobs in a pretty large segment. I mean, the hospitality segment is one of the largest employers in the country, and we would hate to see more people out of work. You know, I think typical restaurants probably run in the single digits in terms of profit margin. So if you take out 10-15% of their profit for a wine by the glass.
The US economy has fared well after the COVID-19 pandemic, helped by solid labor market and strong consumer spending. But economic growth has slowed alongside hiring, with economists now watching to see if tariffs will feed into inflation this summer and households become more selective with purchases. Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, now up next we'll get you a sense of global weather patterns, starting with India. Monsoon tightens its grip across India as the Met Department issued red alert for East Rajasthan, Konkan, Goa, Maharashtra and Karnataka on Thursday. Orange alert has been sounded for Arunachal Pradesh, parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat, East Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Arunachal Pradesh and Kerala. Active monsoon conditions are likely to persist over many parts of northwest, central and east India for the next 6 to 7 days. Due to continuous rainfall in Uttarakhand, several areas are witnessing landslides and road blockages in many places. Near Sonprayag in Rudraprayag district, a sudden landslide occurred late at night. Personnel from the State Disaster Response Force who were stationed at the site created a safe path for the visitors. Authorities reported that the water level began rising late on Wednesday night, and by early Thursday, the bridge was partially submerged, making it unsafe for commuters. Traffic was either slowed or diverted, causing delays and inconvenience for daily travelers and local transport. To get us a sense of the ground situation, we have different reporters joining us from different parts of the country. DD India's correspondent Jyoti is joining us from Bengaluru in Karnataka, and also DD India correspondent Kansil is joining us from Goa. Jyoti Dafadar, first to you, get us a sense of how is the day progressing. In Bengaluru, we tell viewers that the monsoon has arrived in the country and also is advancing. You get us more details as to what is the Met Department predicting, particularly in Bengaluru.
Preeti, IMD issues rain and thunderstorm alert for few districts till July 7. And KS and DMC stated that the coastal and Malnad districts will receive the heavy to heavy rain, and it will reduce the temperature from 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. And the IMD issues the alert for the local residents who are stated near the coastal region to follow some guidelines to avoid the inconvenience. The Malnad and Karavali region, the coastal region, will receive heavy to heavy rain, and North Karnataka and other parts of the Karnataka will receive the moderate rain. While coming to the Bangalore will receive the moderate rain only. The cloudy nature is there, but there is no heavy rain. But the coastal region within till July 7, they will receive heavy to heavy rain, extremely rain, Preeti.
All right, I'll take that forward to Kansil, who is joining us from Goa. Kansil, what is the weather update in Goa? Get us more. How is the day progressing?
As far as Goa is concerned, Goa has been receiving rainfall, very heavy rainfall for the past 2 days. Now, IMD Goa has informed that the North Goa has received around 159.8 centimeters of rainfall, whereas South Goa has received 162.8 centimeters of rainfall, and an average of around 161.1 centimeters of rainfall. There is also an orange alert which has been mentioned by the IMD Goa for the next 2 days, where Goa could receive heavy to very heavy rainfall. Now, there has been also an advisory which Goa IMD has given, such as take care while moving close to the landslides areas while driving, and even asked local people not to venture close to the beaches. Even fishermen are advised not to venture into the sea. Whereas as far as July is concerned, Goa receives heavy rainfall in the month of July. June has been a normal rainfall season, which IMD always predicts in rainy season. So this is as far as Goa is concerned, as far as weather rainfall is concerned.
All right, so those were the inputs coming in from Bengaluru and Goa from our correspondents. Thank you so much, Jyoti, for joining us from Bengaluru, and Kansil for joining us from Goa. And from here, we turn focus to Himachal Pradesh, Mandi, where our correspondent Ankush is joining us, and also Lakshay Arya is joining us from Jaipur, Rajasthan, to get us more on the weather update. Lakshay, to you, get us a sense of what is it when we talk of the weather predictions and the weather in Jaipur and Rajasthan.
So pretty right here in the Rajasthan with the active monsoon and all with the heavy showers. The Rajasthan is experiencing not only the heavy showers but also advisory has been issued from the IMD and local administration as well. So right in the major districts, the alert has been issued for the heavy rainfall from past 48 hours. The state is experiencing heavy rainfall across the major districts. If I talk about majorly about Ajmer and Bhilwara, the orange alert has been issued for both of the districts, respective to the rest of the districts, whether it's about Jaipur, whether it's about Bhilwara and some of the southern districts of Rajasthan, yellow alert has been issued. So in coming 3 to 4 days, the alert has been issued for the heavy and very heavy rainfall. In the last 24 hours, the highest rainfall, the highest rainfall was recorded in the Chittorgarh with a 12.5 inches of the rain fell right here in the Chittorgarh. Along with that, major districts of Rajasthan experienced from 6 to 12 inches of rainfall during last 48 hours. Along with that, along with the advisories and concerns in coming 4 to 5 days, as per the heavy rainfall, the advisories has been issued to stay indoor, to be safe, because there has been predictions regarding the lightning and the very heavy rainfalls. So people are being advised with the IMD department, with the local administration, to be inside, to take care of themselves, to not get out during the lightning and thunder. Also, as per the animal husbandry and the Krishi department, they have taken different advisories for the farmers to keep their animals and to keep their husbandry inside the sheltered area. Also, the administration is issuing advisory regarding the coming predictions regarding the rainfall. Right now, in last 48 hours, the state has been receiving heavy rainfall, and that things is predicted to continue till 3 to 4 days. From 1st of June, the process of heavy rainfall started in the state. As per the IMD, the meteorological department, the trough line is passing through the southern region of the Rajasthan. Along with that, the circulatory motion is having a big role in the heavy rainfall that the Rajasthan is experiencing. Yes, Preeti.
All right, from here I'll bring in Ankush, who's joining us from Mandi, Himachal Pradesh. Ankush, you're at a region which is heavily, mountainous. Get us a sense of what is the weather like there, and any special arrangements or special word of caution that has been given by the administration to the people there who are braving the inclement heavy rainfall.
Preeti, in Himachal, it's the last week of June when the first monsoon shower starts. And this time, the first monsoon shower was on the intervening night of 30th June and 1st July. And it played an havoc. You can imagine that it from 8 to 10 places where we have experienced a cloud burst or a flat flush situation. And still, just imagine, 13 dead bodies have been recovered and 30 people are still missing. The rescue operations are going on. 154 people have been rescued by NDRF and SDRF teams. 14 bridges have been washed away, and the government has made 6 relief camps where more than 400 people have taken shelter. And even the Air Force was engaged yesterday to airdrop the food packets and other stuff so that the people can survive. Preeti.
All right. Thank you so much, Ankush, for joining us from Mandi, and Lakshay for joining us from Jaipur and getting us details of the weather patterns there in Rajasthan and in Himachal Pradesh. And from here, we turn focus to Japan. Viral rumors of impending disaster stemming from a comic book prediction have taken the sheen off Japan's tourism boom, with some airlines cancelling flights from Hong Kong due to plunging passenger numbers. The rumors have sparked widespread panic, especially among visitors from Hong Kong and China. The fear has had a noticeable economic impact, with Japan-related businesses in the tourism sector reportedly seeing a dip since May. The rumors have made an impact Japan-related businesses have halved. Industry experts say it may take several months for confidence to be fully restored. Cleanup operations began in China's Henan after floods triggered by torrential rains killed 5 people and left 3 others missing. Over 1,000 rescue workers were dispatched to search for the missing people along both sides of the river and downstream reservoir area. Authorities in Tianjin issued a yellow alert for heavy rains, which caused 107 flight delays on Wednesday. Parts of China are bracing for more flash floods and landslides, which has left a trail of destruction. Experts say the extreme rainfall and severe flooding are linked to climate change. Europe is currently under a heat wave, with some areas in Germany and France seeing temperatures of 40 degrees and more. And while that's not unusual for some countries closer to the equator, it is becoming problematic there. Red alerts were issued in 18 Italian cities, including Milan, triggering widespread health alerts.
Europe is the world's fastest warming continent, heating up at twice the global average, according to the EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service, with extreme heat waves starting earlier in the year and persisting for longer. The effect can be seen all across the continent. Wildfires are having a devastating impact on Greece and Turkey. Greek firefighters continue to battle wildfires in Crete that has threatened homes, burnt forest land, and forced the evacuation of residents and tourists. Wildfires in the Turkish resort town of Kesme continue to rage on Wednesday. Aerials filmed from planes and helicopters battling wildfires showed flames engulfing residential areas as smoke rose above. France continues to reel under intense heat wave. The temperatures in Paris were expected to reach 33 degrees Celsius, with a heat wave warning still in effect across parts of France. The National Weather Agency reported that the heat wave affecting France and other parts of Europe was expected to ease, with cooler temperatures forecast for Thursday. Germany marked its hottest day of the year on Wednesday, with temperatures of up to 37 degrees Celsius. Animals at zoo were given frozen treats and cold showers to help them cope with the heat. Scorching temperatures persisted in Milan, where tourists sought relief from the heat wave by gathering in the shade of the Duomo Cathedral. As high temperatures hit the city, Paris-Milan rail service remained disrupted. In Madrid, the temperatures were expected to reach 39 degrees Celsius during the day. Bureau Report, DD India.
As we told you, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Ghana. On day one, India and Ghana agreed to elevate their relationship to a comprehensive partnership after Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with President of Ghana, Dr. John Dramani Mahama. The two leaders discussed global issues of mutual interest, including UN reforms. 4 MOUs in the fields of culture, standards, Ayurveda and traditional medicine, and joint commission mechanism for engagement between foreign ministries were exchanged. Up on your screens, we have the details of the Prime Minister's day 1 in Ghana. Talking of day 2, the Prime Minister will interact with the Indian community and will later visit Nkrumah's memorial along with President Mahama. In the heart of Accra stands the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. It is a tribute to Ghana's founding father and its first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Clad in Italian marble and crowned with a black star of unity, the monument stands as a powerful symbol of Ghana's journey to freedom and its enduring legacy. Later, Prime Minister will visit the Black Star Square again with President Mahama. He will also address Ghana Parliament, after which he will leave for Port of Spain. Atul Aneja, Foreign Affairs expert, is joining us to get us more on the visit of Prime Minister Modi to Ghana. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on DD India News Hour. This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Ghana in over 30 years. Help us understand the significance of this visit. As we saw, Prime Minister Modi's visit was steeped in symbolism, powerful quotes and warm gestures. This underscored the deep-rooted friendship between the two nations, isn't it?
Yes, Preeti, indeed, this is a very deep-rooted relationship. And India was a partner of Ghana during its freedom struggle. The founding father of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, and Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, they were fellow comrades in the decolonization of Africa and also in the non-aligned movement. So that relationship is a very special relationship, which had implications not just for India-Ghana relations, but also for the entire African continent, which was undergoing its liberation struggle in the 60s. There is that deep-rootedness about the relationship. I think now what's happening is that we are building on that deep-rooted relationship. We are taking it into the 21st century, into the digital age, and that's where it's extremely significant, Prime Minister's visit to Ghana, because it's sort of revival of the special relationship which we had, and we can already see that it's a comprehensive relationship that has been forged between the two countries, which means also joint commissions being formed.
Yes.
The 360-degree engagement with Ghana, but also a signal, Preeti, to the global South and especially to Africa of India's commitment to the continent. If you recall, during the G20 summit which India hosted, it was on India's initiative that we have 56 countries of the African Union becoming part of of the G20. Or make it G21. So we have to look at this in a broader perspective, which is just not a bilateral relationship, but a message of India's deep commitment to the African continent as a whole and to the global South.
Yes, we'll talk about it in detail also, sir. But then the relationship between the two countries, the bilateral relationship as we talk, 4 MOUs were signed during Prime Minister's visit, and also the bilateral relationship has been elevated to comprehensive partnership. For the benefit of our viewers, help us understand what does it mean for two nations to elevate the bilateral relationship to a comprehensive partnership?
Well, Preeti, comprehensive partnership means that you are fully engaged in all spheres of your interaction, of your relationship between India and Ghana, which would mean that there is no sphere which is outside it. So from foreign affairs to the economic to the cultural, you are sort of, the relationship will look at all these dimensions, people to people, exceptionally important, tourism will come into it. So there is no sphere which is left out, no sphere of engagement which is left out. So it's no longer a segmented relationship, but a comprehensive relationship, which by definition means that you have elevated the relationship to a much higher level and also institutionalized it. And that's important because you're going to have a joint commission now being formed between the two, which will sort of look at each sector and have a roadmap of developing each of those areas which are part of the relationship. So I think this is a level up between India and Ghana, and it opens scope for much bigger and much more substantial cooperation between the two. Some areas have been flagged off, like Ayurveda, medicines. But, you know, India is a pharmacy of the world, and the world came to know about it since COVID. So pharmaceutical, I'm sure, would be one of the very major areas, as would be other. India's digital public infrastructure, I doubt whether that will be left out of the basket of collaboration which we're going to build with Ghana.
Yes, indeed. The Prime Minister was also awarded with the highest honor in Ghana, and added to that also the way the Prime Minister received the welcome there. It speaks volumes of the deep diplomatic respect which the Prime Minister enjoys when we talk of the world stage, and also under his leadership, what is your evaluation of how the image of the country has changed on the world stage, has changed on the global page?
Preeti, you are right. You see, there was a time when we started off very well with Africa. We were part of the Pan-African Union, but then we somewhere seem to have lost our way. But Prime Minister's special focus on Africa, I think that is where the relationship with Africa has now once again has been rekindled, and very, very substantially. And not only rekindled, it's been given a new direction altogether under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. And that's what, whether it's South Africa, whether it's Rwanda, whether it's Kenya. You see that various Nigeria, there are various nodes, pivotal states of Africa which India is engaging with. And when you take it all together, it means that it's that special elevated relationship. And as I said, the G20 meeting was symbolized that when we engaged with the entire 56 nations of Africa and made them part of the help make them part of the G20. So it's a new imagination towards Africa, I would say.
All right.
Which is under Prime Minister Modi, where they are an essential pole of the multipolar world. I think that is where the recognition conceptually has come in. That Africa cannot be neglected. It's a major pole of the international world, and it is a continent of the future. It is also a continent of great resources. And as India goes up into new economy, into the industry 4.0, the need for critical minerals comes into the picture. I think all those things, and most importantly, Preeti, is the unique people-to-people connect which India has with Africa. And no other country has it. I mean, I was recently in Russia and in China, both countries, and we in our discussion we talked about Africa, and they recognized that India has a special sort of a lead into Africa, which is its diaspora and the historical relationship which we have had with them, which is unique.
Yes.
And I think the Prime Minister leveraging all these particular attributes of India's special relationship with Africa and taking in the multipolar era, taking this relationship to a much higher level.
All right, sir, that was about India's engagement with the African continent. I would want you to elaborate more on this in the sense that Prime Minister's 5-nation visit comes at a time when the world is witnessing 2 wars, when we see a change in the world order, when we see, changes in the geopolitical situation. Put all this together, would you say it is now time for the global south to be recognized on the global page? The way the world is shaping now, to what extent can this be taken as an opportunity for India's engagement with the African continent at present?
Preeti, just look at the contrast. You talked about conflicts. One is Ukraine, one is the Middle East. So, and those conflicts are threatening actually a third world war. But contrast that with the positive messaging which India is taking by its engagement with the global south, and symbolized by this visit to Ghana. That this is the global south is the engine of hope. And contrast that to the conflicts which are taking place in the rest of the world. So that particular contrast, that particular hope and optimism, I think that comes through. That as the global system evolves, the time has come for global south to play its due role in running, in framing the rules of the global system, because other ideas, old ideas, are no longer working. And they're leading to conflicts. We need new ideas. We need a new vision to rescue, in a way, the world.
All right. So we need a new idea. We need a new vision. On that note, we'll end this conversation here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on DD India News Hour this afternoon.
You're welcome.
So that was Mr. Atul Aneja. He is foreign affairs expert, and he put into perspective for us how important this visit is of Prime Minister Modi to Ghana. And from here, the Prime Minister will continue his 5-nation tour. The Prime Minister will be, after visiting Ghana, the Prime Minister will move towards Trinidad and Tobago. He will also visit Argentina, Brazil and Namibia. So this is the 5-nation tour of Prime Minister Modi that is presently on. Today is day 2 in Ghana, and Prime Minister will be addressing the Ghana Parliament, and he will also be having other engagements. We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, we'll turn focus to other updates. The Broadcast Engineers Society Expo 2025 kicked off in New Delhi on Thursday, bringing together cutting-edge innovations from broadcast world. The 3-day event is set to showcase the latest technologies driving the media ecosystem forward. This year's theme, Transforming the Media Landscape Through Artificial Intelligence, highlights the growing role of AI in reshaping India's broadcasting future. The expo also aligns with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Make in India vision encouraging indigenous development of broadcast equipment. On the occasion, Chairman of Prasar Bharati, Gill, spoke to DD India. Let's listen in.
With a huge digital transformation of the country under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, it's a very big opportunity for Prasar Bharati and other telecast or broadcast service providers that we must look for one good content creators, and we must promote independent content creators like we did during Waves seminar, Waves conference. Also, we should make AI more and more usable. Also, the broadcasting technologies have to be improved so that we reach every nook and corner of the country.
Let's talk of sports now. Liverpool's Portuguese forward Diogo Jota, aged 28 years of age, died in a car crash near Zamora in northwestern Spain with his brother. Jota, who got married on June 28th, helped Liverpool win the Premier League last season and also won the FA Cup and League Cup with the Merseyside outfit. Jota arrived at Anfield from Wolverhampton Wanderers in 2020 and scored 65 goals in 182 appearances for the club in all the competitions. He also made 49 appearances for Portugal, twice winning the UEFA Nations League. Talking of cricket now, India will look to post a huge first innings total in front of England when they resume their innings on day 2 of the Edgbaston Test on Thursday. Put into bat first by Ben Stokes on day 1, Indian skipper Shubman Gill led from the front as he scored his second century of the series to help India finish 310 for 5 at stumps. Gill and Ravindra Jadeja forged a crucial 99-run stand to steady the innings following a mini collapse post the tea session. Gill remained unbeaten on 114 while Jadeja is on 41 runs. Earlier, India's opening batter Yashasvi Jaiswal fell short of his second century of the series, getting dismissed on 87. While other opener KL Rahul fell cheaply while Karun Nair scored 31 and Rishabh Pant contributed 25 runs. Australia announced its playing 11 for the second test against West Indies, set to take place in Grenada from Thursday. Steve Smith returns to the fold since he fractured his finger during the World Test Championship final against South Africa earlier this month. The 36-year-old is replacing Josh Inglis in the second match of the series. Marnus Labuschagne was dropped following dismissal performances while the rest of the WTC final lineup remained unchanged, with Pat Cummins leading the side against Roston Chase's West Indies. Talking of football, Manolo Marquez has left his position as head coach of the Indian senior men's national team. All Indian Football Federation and the Spaniard agreed to terminate the contract by mutual consent. The announcement came after AIFF Executive Committee met on Wednesday, where the members collectively decided on mutual termination of Marquez's contract. Earlier, the AIFF Technical Committee had recommended to the Executive Committee that a new head coach be appointed for the senior men's national team through an open application process. His reign lasted less than 11 months and he spent 10 of those months in dual charge of the national team and FC Goa. Let's get to updates from tennis now. A record-breaking number of top seeds crashed out in the first round, but Carlos Alcaraz and women's world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka avoided second-round shocks on centre court. Defending champion Alcaraz needed 2 hours and 17 minutes to subdue world number 733 Tarvet to reach the third round. The second seed hopes to become the 5th man in the Open era to win at least 3 consecutive Wimbledon titles after John Borg, Pete Sampras, Roger Federer and 7 times champion Novak Djokovic. In women's singles, top seed Aryna Sabalenka dismantled Czech Mary Boskova for 7-6, 6-4 to advance to the third round on Wednesday. Madison Keys eased past Olga Danilovic 6-4, 6-2 to reach the Wimbledon third round. The Australian Open champion is on the hunt for further Grand Slam glory at the All England club and could become the first woman since the great Serena Williams to win those 2 majors in the same season. Changing track to other sports now, Norway defeated Switzerland 2-1 during the opening game of Women's Euro 2025 Championship on Thursday. Switzerland had plenty of opportunities to grab what would have been a famous victory, but the Norwegians dug deep to snatch a narrow win. Norway's victory was their third against Switzerland in 2025. They had already overcome the same opponents by 2-1 and 1-0 score lines in the Nations League earlier this year. European champions Paris Saint-Germain trained in the Georgia sun on Wednesday as they prepare for their biggest game of the Club World Cup so far. The French champions will meet the German champions Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. The first team PSG faces, who are also considered one of the favourites to win the tournament. The teams are set to face off on Saturday at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Georgia. With that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour this afternoon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.